Looks like I'm a few cycles low. CQ, 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 the old friend's net. This is K4VWD, kilowatt 4 Victor Whiskey Delta. This is an AM, an AM net only. Anybody with any kind of rig, foreign or domestic, old or new, can create an AM signal is welcome. CQ, the old friend's net. We meet here on 3715 approximately. I'm a little low this morning. On Thursday mornings 9 o'clock, Tuesday mornings 9 o'clock, Sunday afternoons at 4 o'clock, all on the same frequency. So, here the temperature is 39 degrees, the sun's shining. We've got a few old leaves coming down on the trees, but the gum trees are loaded with gumballs. They haven't started falling yet, and they will cover up a lot of my yard when they do. So CQ, 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 the old friend's net. This is K4VWD, and I will stand by for participants.
Good morning, Lee. WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
Alpha Delta 5 Sierra X-ray. Good morning.
Stand by a minute. I got the Alpha Delta, but I didn't get the rest of it. Please give me that call again.
Yeah, Roger. Good morning once again. This is Alpha Delta 5 Sierra X-ray. Over.
Okay, Alpha Delta 5 Sierra X-ray. It's good to have you this morning. Who else do we have?
WB4ARK.
Now somebody just doubled with Buddy. So who was that?
K4JAL.
Okay, I got Buddy and Jimmy, JAL. Who else do we have this morning?
W4VRO.
It's a great signal, Ray. Okay, here's what I got so far. I guess some of them are on the way to Spartanburg for our lunch today. I got LLR, LQ, Alpha Delta 5, Sierra X-ray, ARK, JAL, and VRO. Do we have anybody else this morning? Please call me now. I don't hear anybody. Well, let me ask you a question, Steve, and you can answer this when it comes around to you. I'm wondering about hum, and I'm wondering, should I bring a one of these excuse me, M1070 power supplies for you to look at, see if we can eliminate the hum. So you might mention that. Okay, here's the sequence: LLR to LQ to 85SX, Buddy ARK, Jimmy JAL, and Ray VRO. So Dave, go ahead and start us off. This is K4VWD.
All right, fine business, Lee. K4VWD. And the old friends, WA4LLR, good morning to everybody. We've got 30 degrees and overcast and windy, a light dusting of snow, and kind of chilly out there this morning. It's interesting, we only got just a little light dusting here, but over in Bakersville, not very far, they got about 1.5 inches, so unusual conditions. Good morning to Paul. I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Paul, my name's Dave. I'm in Burnsville, North Carolina. And you got a good signal up here. I'm running an ART-13 and receiving on an HQ-180. So, down to you, Steve. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ, and good morning, everybody. We're Steve here in Shelby, North Carolina, and good morning to Paul. Welcome to the net. And it is 34 degrees. It's very sunny, and we're kind of getting ready for a trip down to Spartanburg and bringing with me Gary, K3OS, and Brian, KN4R, and John, KZ4B, a lively carload. And yeah, I can take a look at that power supply. If you bring it, it's not too much trouble. I'll put in some new filter caps and we'll get as much hum out of it as we can, Lee. But it does seem like your modulation isn't quite what it used to be, and I think maybe that's the hum is kind of overtaking you or something. Maybe you could turn the mic up a little bit, but otherwise it sounds pretty much like the good old LMAC, but I think the hum could probably use some work. And like I said before, a lot of people can't even hear it if you just got a normal little speaker, but I've got this subwoofer and it'll rock the room pretty good if somebody has a hum. I probably got a little bit myself. Anyway, the Ameco seems to be working pretty good this morning, and I'm driving the AL82 amplifier here at 240 watts. So over to you, Paul, and then you'll give it to Buddy, WB4ARK, when you're done. AD5SX, N4LQ.
Okay, thanks for the warm welcome, fellas. AD5SX. I was given this frequency by someone, I can't even remember who it was, and I figured it's time to dial in and use AM. It's been quite a while. Anyway, let's see, we're holding at 36 degrees. I'm in Fort Lawn, South Carolina, and we've been here about 6 weeks. We moved here from central New Mexico. The altitude there where we were living was 6450 above sea level, and we were on 40 acres of, desert with barbed wire around the perimeter to keep out cows. But other than that, we moved over here to be closer to our family, very close, and so everything's working out. It was a long, hard move, but we made it, and we're taking our time filling the house with all the junk we bought. And I appreciate it once again. I'm just running, more modern equipment. I'm kind of taking the shack apart right now to take some stuff out and put some other stuff in, rearrange it. And my antenna system is pretty squirrely right now and won't be much better because we moved from that large acreage out there to a puny little lot here in Fort Lawn, but it's still a blessing that we're here. So thanks a lot. I'll be around for the next call. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoy the audio I'm hearing from your radios. It sounds great. Let's see, WB4ARK. Good morning. Over to you. This is 85SX. Over.
85SX, WB4ARK. Okay, Paul. Very good signal into Lake Wylie area, which is just south of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's in the South Carolina region. And I'm running a ART-13, receiving on R390A
horizontal dipoles up about 60 feet. Dave, I don't think I've experienced a period where you have been on your ART-13 for this many days in a row. This is this is good. Wish we had more of them on. Well, I was going to talk about the Astatic D104 microphone this morning and give you a little bit of an update. John's been talking about it lately, and so I'll just throw this out and we can go back over it again later. I don't know if y'all remember, but they made a crystal dynamic, ceramic, and dynamic corduroy microphone, the D104 crystal or T3, the ceramic D104C or 10C, and a dynamic 10DA, and a couple of other nomenclatures there, and a dynamic corduroy 77L. So you could conceivably have one of those heads on your stand. This printout that I have covers 4 pages. It's got all the specifications on the microphone. It's got the diagram of the switching element and some other pertinent information on the amplifier and so forth. So it's a pretty nice little brochure, if you will, and it gives most all of the specifications on the microphone and what it does. It's got a relay position and an electronic position for switching, internal switch for that. And let's see what else is, it gives all of the output level specifications and so forth for the, called the DUG8-D104 microphone. So that's got that, and we'll turn it over to W4JRO, WB4ARK, W4VRO, excuse me. This is WB4ARK.
It goes over to Jimmy, JAL.
Roger. Okay, thanks, Lee. Buddy, if you don't mind, put that write-up on the net for us. I'd like to get a hold of that. I got several D104s and I need to learn more about them. I think I said this is K4JAL. Anyway, I was going to work on my SDR transceiver kit, the T41, more today, but then my elevator's on the blink. I've got to work on it first. But I did get my Audi fixed. The gas tank was giving me trouble, and I got that working good, so I guess I'm making progress. I'll turn it over to K4VRO, K4JAL. Over to you, Ray.
K4JAL and the net, W4VRO. Very good, Jimmy. Thank you, and good morning. Good morning, Lee. Thank you for the signal report, and good morning to everyone on the net. Dave, the ART-13 sounds great, and the audio is just fantastic. Really strong audio and very clear and very natural sounding. A commanding presence on the net, Dave, and I hope you'll use it often. It really sounds good. Steve, very strong signal as usual. I noticed your audio sounded a little bit different, and then you said you were using the Ameco, so that explains it. Paul, a special good morning to you. Thanks for joining our net, and I hope you will often. Paul, I'm copying you about 80%. And I missed your QTH. I think you said South Carolina, but I missed the town. My name is Ray, Romeo Alpha Yankee. QTH is the little community of Raymond, Georgia, 50 miles south of Atlanta. And buddy, your ART-13 sounds equally good, and I love to hear those things. And we have a lot of them on this net from time to time. I think we've had as many as 3 or 4 or 5. I don't remember the count. Good signal, Jimmy. Good to hear you. And let's see. I'm using for Paul. I'm using Johnson 500, running a 350 watts carrier to an inverted V antenna. And I think I gave you my name. And so back to you, Lee. K4VWD and the group W4VRO.
Okay, Ray, thank you. This is K4VWD. Do we have anybody else that would like to join us on the net this morning? If so, please call me now.
W4MEC.
Hey, Charlie. Boy, I'm glad to hear you this morning. Go ahead and make one and turn it back to me. Over.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. WK4VWD and the group W4MEC. I just got a late start here, and it's about 33 degrees here and overcast. They're predicting snow and ice coming up Saturday. I guess it's just getting ready to do it. I don't know. So hopefully they're wrong on the ice prediction. I hate ice, but snow's okay. We'll live with that. So that's about it. Getting ready to make the trip down to the lunch there. I'm going to be picking up Carl on the way. So unless something popped up, I'm getting ready to find out if he's going or not. So K4VWD in the group W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, very good. Well, this is K4VWD, and I sure look forward to seeing you at lunch today. And for Paul, 85SX, we have a once-a-month luncheon at the Golden Corral in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and today's it. And that's what we were talking about. And Paul, my name's Lee, and I spell it L-E-A, Lima Echo Alpha. And I am in Greenville, South Carolina, running a multi-LMAC AF-68, receiving on a PMRA. The AF-68 is feeding an old amplifier, and I've got about 190 watts of carrier, and feeding an old Ten-Tech tuner and a ladder line up to a dipole at about 60 feet or so. So that's what's happening here in Greenville, South Carolina. So take a quick standby. Does anybody else want to join us? Please call me now. Don't hear anybody. And let's see. Steve, I turned the audio up just a fuzz on the AF-68. I don't know whether that made any difference or not. So, Dave, go ahead and start us around again. WA4LLR in the group K4VWD.
Fine business, Lee. K4VWD in the group WA4LLR. Well, good morning, Charlie. Glad you got in here with us. Good signal as always. And Ray, thank you for the signal report and the comment on the audio, and I give Buddy all the credit for any good sound that comes out of this rig, because it was certainly him and it had nothing to do with me. And believe me, I appreciate it. Jimmy, glad to hear you got the audio fixed. That's good. And Buddy, thanks for the D104 tutorial. Yeah, like Jimmy, I wouldn't mind to have that in print somewhere. Paul, good signal coming up here from your QTH in South Carolina, and welcome to the Southeast. You've been in the Southwest, so you've come across the continent. But good to have you here with us. And Steve, the Ameco's doing a good job, so that's good. I'm sorry that Irvin and I are not going to be able to make the luncheon today. We've got stuff going on, and we both got doctor's appointments all day tomorrow, so we're trying to get caught up. And with the rain they forecasted coming in, I've got to do a little clean out of some water breaks in our driveway. So that's probably what we're going to be into today, but we'll certainly miss being with y'all. Space weather, sunspot count is 63, solar flux index is 140, and the K is 1, and we did have another solar flare of the M4 class yesterday from the same sunspot group that gave us the big X5 flare on New Year's Eve. Of course, this one didn't do the amount of radio blackout that the other did, but interesting space weather. A few ideas or a few items from this day in history. On this day in 1643, Isaac Newton was born. We all know his contribution. On this day in 2010, the Burj Khalifa, the world's tallest building, opened in Dubai. On this day in 2007, Nancy Pelosi was elected as the first woman Speaker of the House of Representatives. Let's see what else here. On this day in 1809, Louis Braille, that was a fellow born in Paris, developed the Braille system for folks with that are sight impaired. And on this day in 1999, the Euro debuted, and a few other odds and ends, not too much more. Let's see. Where is that one? Colt sells the first revolvers to the U.S. government in 1847. And that's pretty much it for this day in history. So down to you, Steve, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR's N4LQ. All right, well, thanks for the audio report, I think, Ray. Different, I guess. I guess it's different, good, or indifferent. I don't know. It's showing about 112% or so positive and only 70 negative, and that's just what I like. So it looks good on the meters here. And the little Ameco is an unusual rig. It uses a combination of screen and control grid modulation at the same time, and they call it duo grid modulation. And to my knowledge, I don't think I've ever seen another rig that does it this way. Rain is definitely coming in. We're talking about an inch here on Saturday, and then Monday night and Tuesday, they're talking about another 3.5 inches of rain. 3.5. So we're looking at probably 4 inches of rain starting Saturday and ending sometime Tuesday. And then next weekend, another inch. So we're talking about a bunch of rain here coming in. So take a look at your forecast. I'm going to go dig my ditch a little bit deeper and up there and try to divert some of that water away from the trees and prevent some of the erosion. I am using a powered D104, and this is one of the later models, I guess you'd call it, the Silver Eagle. It's got the eagle on the back of the mic head, and I'm pretty sure it's a crystal mic. Astatic changed the amplifier in the bass. It's much smaller than it used to be, or the older ones were much bigger, and they moved the switch down to the bass instead of up inside the stem, which should be a really good thing. The only problem was mine was getting weak, and it was getting hard to squeeze hard enough to make good contact. So I took the base off, and it took me a while to figure out what was going on. But when you squeeze that stem, it pushes a nylon rod down into the base, and there's nothing else in the stem except for the 2 wires from the mic head to go all the way through the stem. There's no more mess of wires, and so the stem pushes down on the switch, and that's all there is to it. But the switch is mounted to a tab that's bendable, and eventually it works its way down until it's just bent too far. So all you got to do is just take a screwdriver and just bend it back up a little bit, and you're good to go for another round. So that's my take on the D104, and if anybody needs a demo on that, I'd be glad to bring it with me and today and show it. So Paul, I think I talked to you before. I think maybe you checked into the net. Maybe it was on 160, I don't know, but I looked at your QTH. It looks like you got a new house there. So congratulations on getting all that set up. 85SX N4LQ.
All right, thanks a lot. Yeah, we got lots of work to do still inside, and trying to establish a comfortable communication channel with the builder. But we feel very blessed that we're here. It was a long, hard trip over here, but we made it, and well, we knew we were only because what's guiding us is the big book and the Lord, you know. Anyway, thanks a lot. N4LQ 85SX. Boy, I'm just sitting back here and listening to the various audio signals coming in here, and the punch, you know, and all that. And I think it's Steve, WA4LLR. I think it's just an excellent audio. And most people have it. Most hands out there that I'm listening to have really good audio. I'm on, you know, stuff that's modern and everything, but yeah, I tell you what, it traveled well in what we had to bring and leave behind. So at least I got something here, and I feel really good about this. I've got your website up. It's called the Old Friends Net, and I was referenced here by KV5 Alpha over in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. I talked to him on 10 meters yesterday, and he mentioned this, so I'm really glad to be here. And I look forward to it for some more time. I see the times. I believe they're all current, 9 Eastern on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I'll keep it busy, but I am a firm believer now that I don't have my grounding system set up. We got into this house in the late time of a build because the prior, the owner, the original guy that was going to live here, he ran into some problems and he couldn't, so we pick up the house. And but it was so late in the build that I've got to look in and see what opportunities we can do long after we move in completely to get some more electrical run to this ham shack, which is the third little bedroom. So anyway, I'm going to stick around for another round, and then I've got to start working on the shack here. I've moved some stuff out and just moving things around. I want to kind of get it organized. We are, like others have mentioned, expecting rain and perhaps thunderstorms. And like I said, I'm not really safely grounded at all at this point. So I know what to do. And I watch radar quite frequently, and I never leave home with everything plugged in. Everything's floating. So anyway, let's see, WB4ARK 85SX. Go ahead and pick it up, and I'll be standing by for the next round.
85SX WB4ARK. Okay, Paul. I got a phone call in the meantime, and I missed your location, so if somebody, the next person, maybe Jimmy, could comment on where you're actually located, it would be helpful. sorry about messing up Jimmy's position there. I had you penciled in with an arrow and did not heed my my note. And so I will get this copied, copy on the net for those who might find it interesting. I hope it comes through. There's a couple of areas that are kind of light, but I think it will copy okay. So we'll go with that. And if it doesn't come through, just send me an email and I'll with your address, and I'll send you a copy of it through the mail service. The temperature here this morning was 29 degrees at about 7, and it's warmed up considerably since then. I thought they said we might get some rain overnight, but we didn't. Let's see what else. We're looking at the possibility of some heavy rain this weekend, so we'll see how that turns out. And I guess that's about it. I know some of you are wanting to get moving, so I'll keep this short. We'll just turn it over to Jimmy K4JAL. This is WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, K4JAL. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, just put that thing on the, if you can, copy it, put it on the reflector, and that ought to be good enough. Appreciate it. I'm not copying Paul, so I can't give you his QTH. I think Steve's got it, so when he gets around to him, he can put it up there. I'm running the 7610 this morning again, and regrettably, I'm over here at the other place. And I've got an RM Italy 305 putting out about 90 watts, I guess, and into an IB fed. That's about all I got today. I'm going to check on out. I got a lot of stuff to do, so I'll give it over to you, Ray. W4VRO, you got a great signal, K4JAL.
K4JAL and the net, W4VRO. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate the signal report. And I also missed Paul's QTH. So, Steve, if you could give that to us. Paul, 73 is to you. I understand that you're listening, but I think you signed out on your last transmission. And, Buddy, interesting information on the microphones. There's quite an interesting history. And Buddy, I had forgotten you worked on the ART13 that Dave is using, and you've worked on numerous other ones that I've heard on this net. And your touch is unmistakable, I think. You're the master of the AR13, and no question about that. And that's great. I should mention, too, that you're master of many other subjects. So we appreciate your knowledge and your expertise. You've answered a lot of questions for us over the years. Steve, the audio, there's nothing wrong with your audio. I'll listen to it more closely this time. I'm not looking at a scope. And concerning, it sounded deeper than the other rigs, but I better understand it now. Your signal is S7 to S9, and everybody has QSB on their signal this morning. But rapid QSB, and when your signal goes down right into the noise level and immediately jumps back up to a very strong signal, that low audio sound is exaggerated when it comes out of the edge of that noise. And I don't think that's your signal doing that. I think it's my receiver. With the difference in input to the receiver is causing that little change in audio. I don't know, but your audio is good, so, as always. So, Jimmy, 73U. Let's see. Charlie, good morning. Glad you joined us this morning, and very strong signal as always. I also am going to sign on this round. I know many are trying to get on the road to the luncheon. Wish I could be there. And Lee, I'm sure you're going. So I hope all of you enjoy it, and I'll be thinking about you during the luncheon and looking for you on the next net. I'll be listening for a few minutes, but sign me out, Lee. W4MEC in the group, W4VRO.
Double slow today. W4VRO in the group, W4MEC. Okay. Well, the comment about Buddy working on several includes mine, and I will get it on the air and see how it sounds. I think he mentioned I needed an amplified D104. I've got an amplified aviation mic, and I've tried it in my TCS, and it works really well there. I'll see what if it works at all in that, but I can't remember. I'd have to go find out what the voltage is on the mic jack for it. So it barely works on the BC375. There's only about 7 volts on the mic jack there. The TCS has 12, so it's plenty. And but I'm unsure what they have there. I got another amplified microphone. I'm not sure what the head. I think it's got Electro Voice head on a weird stand, and it is amplified. I'll have to experiment. In regards to the D104, the reason I was slow on the draw here this time was I was looking up Bama. Bama has about 6 files on different D104s, and I was trying to open one. And what my computer was doing, every time I clicked on the file, it wanted to save it. So I was trying to figure out why it was doing that when it never used to. And was reading on how to get it to stop doing that. And of course, there is no simple answer where you open something on Firefox and you click a box somewhere. You've got to delete this or delete that to make it work. I'll get it. And so there was no easy way to open the file, so I never did. So I'm not sure what Buddy is sending, but it might be similar to that, and it's on Bama under Astatic, and there's about 5 or 6 different D104 files there. Let's see what else. Boy, I hope we don't get that much rain. The last couple of times is all the real heavy stuff. Well, not the last time, but several times before that, they've all gone east of us, so the heavy stuff did, so we'll see what happens. As long as it doesn't turn all into ice, I'm a happy camper. So, anyway, K4VWD, back to you, W4MEC.
Okay, Charlie, W4MEC, K4VWD. Well, you got a great signal here, and I sure am looking forward to seeing you at lunch. And Steve, get ready to push to talk. 2 questions. One, I increased the audio just a little bit and wanted to know whether it made any difference or not. And secondly, give everybody Paul's QTH, if you will. N4LQ, K4VWD.
The N4LQ. Paul's QTH is Fort Lawn, LAWN, like get off my lawn. It's straight south of me, well, kind of southeast. It's about 75 miles south of Shelby or so. Pretty good ways down there. Let's see. The audio, I couldn't tell a whole lot of difference. Would you try something? Just turn your amplifier off and then transmit for a second or two so I can hear and see if there's still hum.
Okay, the amplifier is off, and right now I don't see the needle moving very much, so I'm only putting out about 8 watts. So I hope you can copy, Steve. Go ahead.
Well, I don't hear any hum there, so it must be the amplifier. But you're a lot weaker, but the hum definitely went away. So now I don't know, Lee. I guess if you can increase your power there with your loading control or something, maybe it would help some.
Okay, this is K4VWD. I got an amplifier back on, and I am going to increase this loading control and get a little bit more power output, I guess. Okay, so now I'm up to about 250 watts, and I've increased the power out of the excuse me, out of the AF68. So, but I haven't touched the audio at all, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't mean you leave the amplifier off and increase the loading on the rig so I could hear the rig better, but yeah, the hum came back when you turned on the amplifier.
Okay, stand by. Okay, now I'm up some. I don't know what the power output is, but I'm guessing it's about 40 watts, maybe, with no amplifier. Steve, go ahead.
All right, I can hear a little bit of hum, so it's just getting amplified. Well, go ahead and bring it then, and we'll take a look at it, Lee. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, before I turn the amp back on, I'll go ahead. Let me take a quick standby. Does anybody else want to join us in this net this morning? If so, please call me now.
Alpha Delta 5 Sierra X-ray is still here, over.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
I think he just wanted to let you know he's still here.
Roger on that.
Alpha Delta 5, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I said I was going to be around for another round, but maybe my signal wasn't clear, or maybe I'm speaking out of the wrong side of my mouth, but thank you, I appreciate it, Lee, and the station that helped out there, 85SX. Yeah, we were 27 degrees this morning. I'm not sure if I mentioned that to you. Our low where we came from out there in New Mexico was negative 28, minus 28 degrees. That was the record low. And yeah, it was pretty cold out there during the winter. And you know, I never really saw snow before until we moved there, and that was pretty cool stuff, no pun intended. Anyway, this will be my last transmission. I'll be more clear next time. I apologize for that confusion, folks. But anyway, this has been a real blessing for me to be on AM and listening to these radios and the audio and the stuff that's going on with your microphones. I really appreciate that. It's neat. It's really neat stuff. So yeah, I look forward to it. I printed out something from the internet that's got all your stuff on it, so I plan to join in here whenever I can. And I know my wife's going to be happy because I've been searching for groups to hook up with my minimum antenna system, so this has been great. Well, anyhow, I'll get out of here for now, and I am leaving at this point because I've got to work on the shack, and I've got to get the computer set up for my wife. I'm the computer help desk, period, for her. 73 all around, and God bless all of you. This is 85SX, 73.
Okay, Paul, 73, God bless, man. Thank you for joining us today. We sure do appreciate it. and I hope you will continue to check in. Let's see, we can, Steve, I guess you'll pass it to Buddy since Paul signed out. So, Dave, go ahead, and and I will bring the power supply today, Steve. WA4LLR in the group, K4VWD.
Alrighty, K4VWD in the group, WA4LLR. Alrighty, well, Paul, sure was a pleasure to meet you and have you with us today. 7-3 to you, and God bless as well, and hope you get things squared away there. Lee, thanks for calling the net. Enjoyed it. Good signals. Everybody's sounding great. Again, we'll miss being with y'all in Spartanburg, but hopefully next month. Everybody have a good one. Drive safe and have lots of fun. So take care. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
All right, Dave. Hope you have a great day at the doctor's office, if you can enjoy that. And Ray, thanks for the audio report. Not sure I understand it, but it's interesting that my audio is low when I fade or something. Anyway, maybe you're referring to the bass instead of the treble versus the signal strength or something. Anyway, I think that's about all we've got this morning. I'll just listen out, as they say, but and turn it over to Buddy, WB4ARK. And I will say this: your ART-13 sounds great, and Dave's is definitely, that's the best rig you got there, Dave. So the audio is real punchy, cuts through really well. Go ahead, Buddy. N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay. Well, I just don't hear the hum that you're talking about on Lee's signal. I have my headphones on, and I cannot. He's running 60 dB on the R390, and I just don't hear any hum. But maybe it's your location. I don't know. The Fort Lawn, that's very good on Paul's location, and the and Ray, thank you very much for your great acknowledgement of my so-called expertise. I take that very seriously, and I thank you very much. This download that I have here, copy, came from, I don't know that it came from, but down at the bottom it has a rectangular blue box that says downloaded by Radio Amateur EU. Radio Amateur EU. So I don't know what that, I've had it a long time, and I'm not sure exactly where I got it. I got it off the internet somewhere, but maybe I got it from Amateur Radio EU. I don't know. But I'll let you guys get on because I know you want to get to the luncheon. And thanks for Paul checking in today. It's another check-in to our roster. So with that, I guess it'll go to Jimmy. I think Jimmy might still be in there. If not, it goes to Ray. W4JAL, WB4ARK.
Jimmy, you still there?
He signed out. Go ahead, Ray.
Thank you, Lee. Just one more comment to you, Lee. When you were running 8 watts, you were S5 and Q5. You have a fantastic antenna. We've commented about that many times. 73 Saul, Lee, thanks for calling the net. 73 Paul, hope we hear you on the next net. And Charlie, over to you. W4MEC in the group, and the net, the W4VRO clear.
Okie dokie. Ray, W4VRO in the group, W4MEC. Yeah, I'll be heading out here in a minute and get down to Carl's place there. And one of our, well, I take it back. There should be another fellow at the lunch, and I forgot his call now. I don't know if he's been there before or not. I think he's a two-lander or a one-lander that lives down in South Carolina, north of, a little bit below where Carl does. But he's bringing me an SX-111 to work on, and I told him a couple places to meet. One was to take it to Carl's, and I'll pick it up, or come down to lunch. So he seems interested in meeting us all, so there'll be at least one new fella down there. So we'll see in a little while, those that can make it, and the rest of you, we'll be talking to you on Sunday. 7-3 all, okay. I wanted to mention one thing about the hum. It's very, very low here. I can hear it, but it's about like what Cliff has pretty much all the time on a couple of his rigs. It's just really, my KTH, it's very low. And if he does bring that power supply to you, Steve, I think it's got a new filter in it, the big filter, the 700-volt one. But I can't remember about the lower stage. That was that, three caps in a can. I don't remember if I changed that one out, or the diodes. I've run across a couple, that have a string of diodes, especially those old little button-looking ones, and a whole string of them in series, and I've actually found them bad somewhere in the string, and that makes a big difference. But I think I put new one in 4001s or something in there. But if you do get it, maybe one of those caps is going south already, especially if it's a lumolitic. So anyway, we'll see you fellas later. K4VWD in the group, W4MEC, 7-3.
Yeah, Lee, I got something else.
God bless. Look forward to seeing you in a little bit. And thank you for being there. And I have two of these power supplies. One of them I rebuilt myself about 30 years ago with new capacitors and diodes and all that. But I'm going to bring the other one because that's the one I'm using right now. So let me take a quick standby. Is there anybody that's got any final comments? If so, please call me now.
Yeah, this is N4LQ.
Okay, Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I had forgotten to mention that we will have another visitor today. His name is Gary, and his call sign is Kilowatt Fox 4 Golf King KF4GGK Gary, and he lives down in Clemson. And he checked in with us on 160 one night, and he's really interested in the luncheon and getting to know people around here. And he is, I think he's originally from Germany, got a little bit of a German accent you might recognize. But we've been going back and forth about some kind of an antenna project, and so he's really anxious to get there. So we'll see him today also. This is N4LQ.
WB4A, okay.
Okay, buddy, go ahead.
I noticed on I turned my scope on, and I was looking at the output from the IF of the R390A, and your signal has on the carrier, when you're not modulating the transmitter, your carrier has a slight wavy in notice on the top of the waveform and on the bottom, but Steve's has one on the bottom only. So I don't know exactly what that means as far as your hum is concerned, but that could be the hum that he's picking up. Over.
Turn your rig upside down, Lee.
All right. Well, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. I don't know what that means either. I don't. But I do appreciate you mentioning it. Anybody else got a final comment?
Well, that's not on anybody else's signal, just on your signal and Steve's signal with it on the bottom side.
Well, I think I'm honored to be unique. But I'm sorry if it's causing anybody any problems. Anybody else with final comments? Call me now.
Yeah, final for Steve. Steve, I think Lee gave me, that B plus transmitter B plus filter is a single cap, 16 microfarads at 700 volts, something like that. And somewhere along the line, Lee picked up a couple of those, and I think that's what I put in that unit. And they were fairly old, I think, when he had them, but it worked at the time. So that 16 mic at 700 might be giving up the ghost a little bit. So just something else. W4MEC.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I remember buying those. It's been a long time ago, too. You're absolutely correct. They got some age on them. Anybody else with final comments? Well, I don't hear any, so I will say 7-3, God bless. And looks like my power has climbed up to a little over about 210 watts. Anyway, look forward to seeing those that can make it to lunch today. I've got to go brush my teeth and put on my shoes so I can make it. So 7-3, God bless. And this is K4VWD, now closing the Old Friends Net. So long, everybody.